In the heart of the city, Milo wandered the bustling streets with an unusual air of confusion. He was an unassuming man in his late 30s, with short brown hair and a slightly disheveled appearance. Today, like no other day before, he found himself grappling with a disconcerting realization. He couldn't remember where he lived. With every turn of the corner, an eerie sense of unfamiliarity crept over him. People moved past with purposeful strides, the hum of conversations and the beeping of car horns creating an overwhelming symphony of urban life. Milo's mind was a tangled web of forgotten details. He knew he had a home, a place where he belonged, but for some reason, the address eluded him. He reached into his pocket, hoping that a note or an ID would remind him, but found nothing but spare change and a worn-out bus ticket. Panic clawed at his chest as he tried to recall his morning routine. He saw flashes of making coffee, picking out his clothes, but none that placed him in a specific location. Milo approached a street vendor selling newspapers and asked if he recognized him. The vendor, an elderly man with kind eyes, shook his head apologetically. Determined, Milo decided to retrace his steps from the office. He remembered clearly the blue glass building where he worked, so he headed in that direction, hoping something would spark a memory. As he walked, he began observing the city more intently than he had in years. He noticed the colorful murals on the walls, the array of small shops, and the variety of people who made the city their home. Upon reaching his office building, Milo paused. He stood at the entrance, feeling a mix of hope and trepidation. He walked inside, greeting the familiar security guard who asked if everything was all right. Milo explained his dilemma, and the guard, after a moment of thought, suggested checking the directory on his phone. The idea seemed so simple, yet Milo hadn't thought of it in his state of panic. He pulled out his phone and typed his name into the search bar. To his immense relief, his address popped up almost immediately. He felt a wave of calm wash over him and allowed himself a small chuckle at his forgetfulness. Thanking the guard, Milo set off in the direction of his home. This time, as he walked the streets, he felt a sense of gratitude for the small, reassuring details he had overlooked. The city that had once felt overwhelmingly vast and impersonal now seemed like a maze, leading him gently back to where he belonged. The weight of confusion lifted, Milo found himself at the front door of his apartment building. The familiar green door and potted plants by the entrance welcomed him home. He turned the key in the lock, stepping inside with a deep sense of relief. He knew, from now on, he would pay more attention to the world around him, knowing that even in the busiest places, home is never too far away.